Dear students, in previous classes we discussed about the PHP, MySQL, web designing, like this 4 units we discussed. Today we will discuss about the fifth unit onwards. Fifth unit onwards. So today we will discuss about the what is cookie and differences between the session and cookie. Already we learned in the fourth unit session. Today we will discuss about the cookie. So what is the cookie? What is the purpose of the cookie in the web browser and the server? And what is the difference between the cookie and the session? So first, what is the how cookies will work in the URL? See, if you type anything on the URL www.gmail.com or google.com, then it will show the www is equal to or wookie is equal to ak is equal to something, and otherwise it will use the ampersand symbol and is equal to sign symbol. Both combination ampersand equal question mark. Okay. See, getting for the string parameters. Maybe you are going how to put this thing and use in HTML. See, suppose example.com foo.phpq is equal to foo. So here foo is the we are sending the parameters in the Google. So here it is a question mark and q is the question and equal to symbol using. So then this string parameter will send it to the server. After then we will receive the response from the server. This is the example using already we discussed what is get method, what is post method. Say here you can send the multiple parameters also using the plus sign, plus symbol. Say http example.com foo.php question mark q is equal to foo plus do. This is the example. You can send anything. Next one is the PHP for string with multiple parameters. So using ampersand symbol with PHP, you can send the multiple parameters to a server. Here, my parameter means we are sending the some query, some request to the server, some request to the server. So like this, we can send the with PHP, HTTPS colon double slashes example.com by foo.php is the PHP file name. It consists in the server. So we are sending the our request. Here we are calling the parameters foo and doo. So these are the multiple parameters or multiple requests. So it will display like this on the URL and it will send our request to the server and it will use the response. So it will get the response from the server. In PHP 7.0 version, we will display the undefined index. Undefined index. So in 8. Latest version PHP the 8.0, they changed that error into the one message using one message. So now we will discuss about the working with cookies. So what is the main purpose of the cookie? What is the main purpose of the cookie? Why we need this cookie? Means suppose if you want to store the your status, whatever you are doing the on the browser work temporarily on the web browser, then it will very useful. Cookies will store your status or your work, whatever you done on the web browser. The cookies will store temporarily on the web server. So how we can create the cookies and how we can delete the cookies, we will discuss now. See, in many cases, cookies are used to identify a particular user. A particular user. In simple terms, a cookie is a small file embedded on user's computer by a server. The cookie will be sent where every time the same computer requests a page to the web browser. PHP allows the creation and retrieval of cookie values. See, cookie is a one type of file, small file. So it will embedded on user's computers by a server. Embedded means it will combine your computer and the server. So the cookie will send the every time same request. Why? Because it will store your request. It will store your request on the web browser. Suppose if you send the one request to the server, it will store in the cookie using cookie. Suppose if you want to send that request again and again in tomorrow or day after tomorrow in today after evening or afternoon like this, no need to type again that request. Using this cookie, you can send easily. So like that, you can save your time also. You can save your time also. Next, you how we can create a cookie in PHP. So using set cookie function, you can create a cookie using set cookie. Set cookie is a predefined function in PHP. Using this, you can create the cookies. So this is the syntax. Set cookie is the keyword or the predefined function. Here we can give the cookie name, cookie values, expire means how many days it will work on the web browser, and path where we have to store our temporary data, and a domain, which domain we are using, either Google, Gmail, Yahoo Mail like this, and secure HTTP only. We have to use the SHTTP. So using set cookie you can create or you can define the cookies in PHP. In PHP. So this is the syntax for the creation of cookie. So set cookie is the predefined function. Here we have to pass the some parameters value to this cookie. Then we can create the cookie. So this is the example program. See, HTML, PHP code, cookie name user. So you can give user cookie value. You can give your name or whatever it will say. Name, cookie value, and the expiry time. So this means SHTTP slash here. This is the example program. You can execute and you will understand and output. How we can modify the cookie. Once you created a cookie in your web browser, you can modify that cookie. You can modify that cookie. So for that also, you can use the cookie by setting it again using the set cookie. So here set cookie. Again, you can use the set cookie predefined function. Here you can change the parameter values. Modifying means you are changing the parameter values. See here in previous cookie, you can give the some name user cookie name is the user, but value is the different. Value is the different. So here Alex Potter is there, in previous some other name is there. So like this you can changing the by changing the parameters value, you can modify the cookie values. You can modify the cookie values. So you can change the expiry time also for the cookie. Next, you can delete the cookie also. Once you created a cookie, suppose it is not using the longer time, then it is wasting your memory in the memory. Then the time you have to delete this cookie. You have to delete this cookie. Again, you can use the set cookie for creation, modify, deleting. You can use the cookie. Then the time you have to, what you have to do? You have to reduce the time. So you have to bring that time into to the zeros. Then automatically it will expire. So after creation of cookie, suppose if you create any application, then you can test it. Either it is working properly or not. Either it is properly working or not. Either it is in active mode or not. Like that, here also you can check the cookie. You can verify the cookie. Either it is enabled, means it is in the active state on the browser or not. Active state in the browser or not. See. Here, using test parameter value, you can check the either enabled cookie. You can enable the cookie using test value. See, set cookie, test cookie, and the test you have to give the some time. Then it will enable. Okay, function is same. Set cookie function. This is a predefined function. Using set cookie function, you can create, you can modify, you can delete, and you can enable your cookie, or you can disable your cookie also. This is the example program. Now we will discuss the differences between the session and cookies. Session and cookies. So some few points I discussed here. Session data is stored on your web server and cookies are written to the user's browser. Session will store your data on web server but not on the web browser. But cookies will store your data on the server and it will return to the your browser also. Almost any period of time can be specified for the cookie's lifespan. So compared to the session, cookie's lifespan is more better than okay. So session data is often stored on the server in public temporary directory. So using session, your data can store in the server in the public temporary directory. Anybody can see your data. Anybody, why? Because it is stored in the public temporary directory. Anybody can steal your data. Anybody can see your data. So it is not possible with the cookies. It is a private. These are the differences between the cookies, cookies and sessions. So here also I gave the some more differences between the those are the main important differences between the cookie and the session. So here some more differences are there for your reference. I mentioned here. You can read these things. So see how to implement the session in PHP scripts. In order to use the sessions in your script, the steps are follows. First, you have to setting up your session. Call the session start function at the beginning of our script. Each script that makes you of session that should include this call. After creation of your session like cookie. So like that here also you can call the session underscore start function. This is a predefined function in the PHP. After that, there is no parameters, the function, there is no need to check the return value since it always returns true. See, in cookies, we are passing the so many parameters here, no need to pass the parameters in the session. It always returns the true. Storage and access to variables, assign the variables you wish to store the array session. So using session, you can store your variables as your wish. Terminating the session, since there is no simple way to end a session in a clean fashion. See here, there is no need to manually delete the session. So you can it will terminate the session automatically. So this is the fifth unit. Wait for a minute. In sixth unit, we will discuss about the working with files and directories. So first of all, what is directory? What is file? We will discuss now. See here, we will discuss first about the files and directory. So here directories means here folders. In general, directories means folders. In one folder, we can maintain so many files. So many files. In files, we have the content of that particular thing. Particular thing. Like that here also, if we can store the files and directories in the PPA using PHP. So background is the MySQL. We can use the MySQL. SQL stands for the structured query language. If you want to say, suppose if you want to one file, what is the file here? What is the file here? C means one file. One file means one employee detail is the one file. Serial number, employee name, father name, date of birth, salary we are storing. This is called the one file. If you want to save this file in the database, we are using the MySQL. MySQL. So that is SQL stands for the structured query language. In the file contains the content of a particular thing. Here, employee content, employee details, employee serial number, employee name like this. So this file will store in the directories, means folders. So that is the directory folder file. See, again we have some attributes of a file. If you created a one file regarding an employee or student, that file contains the some attributes. What are the attributes are there for the particular file? We will discuss now. We will discuss now. So suppose if you created the one file using any text, images, or whatever you need. So we will discuss that one. See, first of all, the size of the file. Size of the file. If you created a one Word file or Excel file, so it will occupy some amount of memory in your memory area. So how much 1 KB, 2 KB, 3 KB like this. That is the size of the file. How much amount of memory it will occupy in the computer memory, that is called the size of the memory. For that purpose, there is a one predefined function. That function name is called a file size. So it will returns the file size in the bytes. 1 byte, 2 bytes, 3 bytes, 4 bytes, like this it will return. So due to special meaning of the black slash and escape characters in strings, you will need to escape it by the adding another backslash. It is better to check first whether the file existing using the function file. So we will discuss. So first, what is the size of the file? Size of the file means whatever you created the file, either it is Word, Excel, PPT, whatever it may be. So how much amount of memory it is occupying in the memory area, main memory area. So that is called the size of the file. To find out the size of the particular file, we will use the file size predefined function. It will return your file size in the bytes. For example, 2 bytes, 3 bytes, 4 bytes like this. So this is the example program for the HTML and PHP. See, already I can see here HTML is the starting tag within the body. Already we discussed. So next, PHP get file size in bytes. Echo is the it is equal to the printf or save out in the C and C++. Size of the file is displayed as it is. File size. This is the predefined function. This is the predefined function. MyFile.html is the it is the already existing file. Already I created this file. So I am giving this file and GB. So how much it will occupy in your memory. How much memory it will display. Next one is the next attribute is the history of the file. First attribute is the size of the file. So next attribute is the history of the file. You can use the following functions respectively to determine the last time the file was accessed, modified or changed. So what is the history? So when it is created, when it is modified, who is the author, at what time created, this is called the history of the one file. This is called the history of files. One second, I will explain. See, so when it is created, who created, when it is modified, when it is changed, when it is saved, at what time it is created, either morning, afternoon, evening. These are all come under the history of the one file. History of the one file. So to find out the size of the file, we use the file size predefined function. So to find out the history of the file, we can use the file C time. File C time. This is the predefined function in PHP. File C using file C time function, you can find out the history of the file. So what is the history of the file? Who created? So when it was accessed, when it was created, when it was modified, when it was changed. So it's like this. This is called the history of a particular file. History of a particular file. This is the example program. Next, permissions for a file. So if you created a one file, you have the full authority on that file. You can create a file, you can modify a file, you can change a file, you can rename a file, you can delete a file, you can rewrite a file. You have the full authority. Suppose your file has the confidential matter. Confidential matter. So that if there is a situation, if you want to share that confidential matter to some other persons. So if you give the all permissions to some other persons, then you will lose the your confidential data, your important data. Then that time you have to keep the permissions. So you have full authority. Suppose if you want to give the third person, then you need some only read permission, not write, change all these permissions. Then only your data will save safe side. Otherwise, you can lose your data. So what are the permissions for a file? Read, write, modify, modify. So these are the permissions. Writable and means readable and modify like this and viewable. Readable means viewable. So these are the functions. See, these are the permissions for a particular file in any file. See, these are the these are the functions. Predefined is readable and is writable. These are the two functions. These are the two functions. Using these functions, you can give the permissions, set the permissions to a particular file. To a particular file. Is readable means you can, if you set the is readable means you can read the only content of that file. You cannot write and change. So this is the example program. See, the test.txt. This is the notepad file. So I'm setting if is readable file, it is only readable. First, I am checking if it is readable or write. If it is readable, I will read only. If it is writable, I will edit. This is one more example program, writable. If it is writable, I will edit the file. So like this, you can set the read write permissions to a particular file. Next one is a file or not. File or not. Suppose there is a one folder in your desktop. In that folder, you are maintaining the some files. Some files. Within the folder, you can maintain the subfolder also. Within the folder, you can maintain the subfolder also. Suppose you created the one file, one folder. In that, you created the some files and folders also, subfolders also. After a long time, you open that folder, so you forgot how many, whether it is how many files you created, how many subfolders you created. So whatever you picked randomly, whatever you picked randomly from that folder, root folder, either it is subfolder or file. You have to find out. You have to find out. So either it is file or not. So for that purpose, there is a one function is underscore file function is underscore file function. Using this function, you can find out whether either that is the file or not. So it will return the only two values, true or false. True or false. One more is the is underscore dir. So if it is not a file using dir, you can check it is directory or not. See, test.txt is a file. So if it is if it is file, then it will returns the true. Otherwise, false. This is the example program. So based upon the condition, we are printing the text. Next, already we discussed about the file. Now we will discuss about the directories. Directories. So we can store the files within the directory. Several different functions are available in PHP that can be used to perform such tasks such as identifying and changing the current directory, creating new directories, deleting existing directories, and listing the contents of directories. So you see, I think you already worked with the command prompts. What is the DOS command? In DOS commands, we can create the some directories. CD, create directory, MD, making directory, next change directory, remove directory. Like this, we have some commands in the DOS. Like that, here also in PHP also some predefined functions are there. Some predefined functions are there to create the new directory, to list out the how many directories we have, and to delete the existing directory, on which directory we are working now. So like this, you can check using the some commands or functions. I mentioned here those functions here. So if you want to see the root directory, close directory, which directory returns and the modifies the directory, all these are the open directory, read directory, scan directory. These are the predefined functions. Predefined functions in the PHP regarding the directories. So I mentioned here syntax also. So getting information on files. In the course of working with files on disk, developers typically check the disk usage, read file permissions, find the date, time, and modification, and view of the contents of files. However, PHP provides a full set of file functions. Getting information on files. So, what is the meaning of this one? What is the meaning of this one? See here, getting information regarding one file. That file belongs to whom? Either that file belongs to a particular employee or particular student or particular person or particular organization. Like this you can get the information. If that is belongs to a particular student. Then who created that file? Either principal created, or chairperson created, or some accountant created, some other body who created. What are the permissions are there on the file to the either it is reading file or writable file or fine when it is created. When it is created, already if there is done any modifications in for that file, when those modifications done, these are the information or history. You can get the see there is a some predefined functions. File owner, file group. Using these two functions, you can get the this much of information. So this is the example program for the see, file owner, myfile.html, file group, and myfile.html. Automatically, it will give the information about these files. So using file, already we discussed file permission. So using is readable, is write, you can find out that it is readable file or it is writable file. If you want to set the read and write permissions for a file, see file PERMS. This is the predefined function. You can give the file name here. Then you can set the is it writable or readable like this. So using this predefined function, you can set the permissions to a particular file. This is the example program. So this function provides the detailed statistics about the file, including its owner, group, size, time of last modification, block usage, and inode number. If you need complete file statistics in a single call, you should use this function instead of the functions listed previously. So using ST80 predefined function, you can get the total data regarding a particular file, statistical analysis. This is the example program. Next one is the file path. This function converts the relative path to a absolute path. You can use it when you need to locate a file on hard drive. Suppose if you created a one file. So if you want to save that file on a hard disk or my drive or whatever you a C colon D colon. So then you can use the real path. Or if you can change the directory, one directory and then C colon to D colon, D colon to C colon. Then that time you can use the real path and you can transfer your file one place to another place. Next one is the file name splitting. You can split the file name or you can break the one file name into the two names. So we have the two functions are there, base name and the dir name. These functions are capable of breaking a complete file path into its constituent parts and the returning their respective file name and the directory name. Using these two functions, you can split the or break the your file name into the some parts. So this is the example program, split directory and file names, dir name, base name. Say in MS DOS, if you want to create the file you created, if you want to see the content of the file, if you want to read the content of the file in MS DOS, just type space and type the file name and press the enter, then it will display the content of the file and you can read the file. Like that in PHP also we have the file. You can read the file, particular file and display the content of the particular file. This is the example program. Read file content. Okay, lines. How many? Let's see. File function using the myfile.html. I am extracting the lines. How many lines are there? Next, print line by line and size of the lines. How many lines are there? Next, like this. Next, opening and closing files. Already you created the one file. Already you created the one file. So how you can open the created file, existing file, and whatever you open the file, how you can close that file. So using normally there is a mouse, so there is a cross button. You can click on that, it will close. Using mouse, you can double click on one file, it will open. It is in the normal mode. So how is it possible in the PHP? How is it possible in the PHP? So opening a file. So there is a fopen function. Fopen function. So using this predefined function, you can open the already existing file. Already existing file. Next, file mode. What is meant by the file mode? When you open a file on the server, the operating system needs to understand what you intended to. The script must be able to determine whether the file can be opened by another script with while the first is running and whether you have permission to do. So file modes means here permissions. So either read mode or write mode, modify mode like this. So when you are opening a already existing file, you have the three options. Depending upon your needs, you may want to open the file for reading, only reading purpose. You may desirable to write or contents to a file. Already existing file is there. You can write, add your content, some content or append some content lastly like this. You might to specify this is your writing or to a file on a system and distinguishes between binary and text files. You can also specify the whatever you are writing in the binary or text files. These three options are there. See, using fopen function, you can open your file. This is the exam syntax. See, this is the mode. See, read mode. This opens the file for reading, starting at the beginning of the file. See, plus symbol allows user to read and write to the file. So next, it is the W. What is only write mode. Next, W plus read and write mode. A means append. We can append our text to the already existing contents. A plus means append and write. So 0 and 1 means binary mode. So these are the modes. Read mode and write mode, read write mode, append and read, binary mode. Suppose if you are if you have any problems, if you are facing some problems while opening the files, then you have to display the user to some message. This whatever your given file is not does not exist in our server, or it is not a file, or it is suppose if you are searching for the XLS file, suppose it is a doc file. So it has to show you are searching XLS file, it is a doc file, it is not available. Like this information you have to provide the user. Next, close your file. You open the already existing file, you read the content, you read the content of the file, you retain the something on the file, you modify something on the file. After that, you have to close that file. For that purpose, you can use the fclose function. Fclose function. Using fclose function, you can close the opened file. Next one is the reading and writing to files. It is possible to read data from a file using PHP functions. You can read data from a file in several different ways. You can read data from the whole file, read data from a line, read data from a character, to read data from a file. There are three steps. Suppose there is a one file, existing file. So if you want to read that file, entire file if you want to read, or if you want to read some lines, or if you want to read some characters. So these are the three options are there. Once again, I will explain. Listen carefully. If you want to read a one file content, there are the three options are there. If you want to read entire content in that file, or if you want to read only few lines, how many lines? First starting three letters or middle three letters or from last three sentences, sorry, three sentences. First three lines or middle three lines or from last three lines like this. Or if you want to read only few characters, starting characters, middle characters, last characters like this. So these are the three options. The file should be opened. In the event that the file cannot be opened, for example, it does not exist, we should recognize this and exit gracefully. So already we discussed here na three options are there na how we can get those things. See, if you want to read the entire file content, then you can use the fread predefined function. If you want to read the entire file content, then you can use the fread predefined function. If you want to use some lines, only few lines, then you can use the f gets gets predefined function. If you want to read the some characters, few characters of that file, then you can use the fgetc function. Fgetc function. These are the syntaxes. Fread, next fopen, fgets syntax, fgetc character. This is the syntax. Next one is the writing to a files. You created one file, you opened a file, you closed a file. How you can write the content in that file? Content in that file. Suppose I created the .txt file or .doc or .xls file. So that is the Word document. DOC means it will create the empty Word document file, and TXT means empty Notepad file. I want to write the content in that file. So for that file, we have the write. For that purpose, we have the write. F stands for the file. Write is write is a predefined function. Using this, you can write the content in a particular file. Using write predefined function, you can write the content in the particular file. So overwriting a file. Overwriting a file. Once you wrote the file, if you want to overwrite, means if you want to overwrite in next day, that is also possible in the PHP. That is also possible in the PHP. Using write function also, if puts like this, you can write the overwrite the file. Puts function. So this is the sixth unit. So what is file? What are the attributes of files? Directories, getting information on file, opening and closing files, close a file, reading and writing files, and modal examination. So what are the modes? How you can read the files? So how three ways you can read the files. How do you write and overwrite? Like this, we discuss the different file operations. So now we will discuss about the seventh unit. Wait for a minute. Yes. In seventh unit, we will discuss about the operations on files and directories. What are the operations are there on files and directories? Whatever we have the operations on files, same things are there on the directories also. So copying the files, pasting the files, renaming the files, deleting the files. Like this, we have the some operations are there: copy, paste, rename, delete, moving the file one place to another place. Like this we have the some operations are there. So whatever we are applying operations to file, those operations will applicable for the directories also. For the directories also. Copying files. Copying files means we are copying the one file to another file. Suppose I have here one file on the desktop. If I want to copy same file into the and in C colon D colon, then we will copy the simple control C and we will paste the using control V. That is normal. So if you want to copy the one file using PHP code, using PHP, we have the one function, predefined function. That function name is called the copy function. See, using this function, you can copy the files from one location to another location, desktop to C colon to desktop, C colon to D colon to E colon like this, or one folder to another folder like this. You can uh, locate the you can copy the one location to another location using the copy function. This is the syntax. Copy string means this is the source. Existing file. This is the destination, new destination. So this is the string source. So where it has in the C colon. Suppose if you want to copy the desktop, you have to do like this. This is and there are three parameters in the component. The path of the source file specified by the source means suppose if it is located in the C colon, you have to give that path. The full path of the destination file is indicated by the D set. So destination means it is the file located in the C colon. If you want to paste that in the D colon, then you have to give the full path of the destination and a valid context resource you have to give. So this is the syntax. A file is successfully copied, the copy function returns true. If an error occurred, the function returns the false. Suppose if you were located your file from C colon to D colon, then it will returns the true. Otherwise, it will returns the false. So this is the example program. See here. Yes, listen. So once you are copying the file from one place to another place, so you have to check. Suppose same file is there in the D colon. So then it will, you can lose the some content. So for that purpose, you have to check before copying the file. If this type of file or the same name file, it is contain D colon contains or not. After that, you have to copy. For that purpose, this is the example program. Using file underscore exist, you can check whether the file is already exists in the source file and as well as destination file also. File is showing 16 only. Wait for 1 minute. Wait for 1 minute. Yes, is it visible to the seventh unit now?
16th only visible, sir.
Okay, okay, wait for a minute. Wait a minute. I will left and I will join once again. Just please wait for a minute. I will left out and I will get back to you. అయ్యో ఒకసారి ఉంటుంది
Hey,
Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Audible.
Wait for a minute. They will share the screen, then I will explain. I am unable to share the screen.